Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kenley Cyphers, and this is Hunting with the Boys. From the last video, I'm sure that you already know that I got tested for COVID. Results came back, it was negative. Thank goodness, because then I would have to be out of work for a longer period of time. Bad news is, I wasn't able to go get any more dove shells. So as we said in the last video, we were down to one shell left for doves, and you know, we've still got a good ways to go till bow season, so we've got a lot more dove hunt to do. Issue is, we still only have one more shot. I couldn't go get the dove shot from Walmart because I had COVID, or didn't have COVID. I was getting tested for COVID, so I wasn't able to go anywhere. I sent my wife. Walmart didn't even have any shells left. So the only logical thought would be to hunt doves with a bow, right? I mean, you have to.
Got him! Got him!
Really, kid? So now that I've got the negative COVID results, you would think that I would want to go to Walmart or somewhere and find some shells, which I do, and I probably will. But I've got in my head now that I want to kill a dove with a bow. But first, I need to order some flu fletchings. These are giant fletchings that slow the arrow down, cause more drag, and they're really good for shooting things flying through the air, so you don't overshoot and potentially lose your arrow. So I've got a little 45-pound Shakespeare bow, laminated bow, and I'll be using that. We're going into Hobby Lobby to find some feathers to try to make flu arrows.
Flu.
Okay.
The only ones I like are the peacocks.
Watch out. Pheasant feathers. You think these will work?
If you have extras, could we have them?
I think these will work. They're fancy feathers. I guess because they're colored. But they're turkey quills, which typically that's what's used in fletching, so I feel pretty confident about that. Okay, so we're back from Hobby Lobby. We have the feathers. We're gonna open them up. Beautiful. Y'all gonna let me go through this whole video like that? Hold on. Okay, so I'm back. I got myself all beautified. I always said I would never grow little caterpillars on my face, but it looks like I'm trying to do that now. Anyway, back to the video. We have this feather. We're going to cut it off probably here and here, because it's got a bend in it right here, and here. And we're going to use this. We're going to cut it down the center, maybe. I'm winging it, so we'll see. We're going to go ahead and cut it off right here. Alright, and now I'm going to slice it right down the center. Okay, so here we go. Here are our feathers. We're gonna probably cut them down to 3/4 length and go with that, maybe. Or I'll do a little bit more research and see if we can use just half, like, because that would be a good amount of arrows. Alright, so we have those type. Those would just be like fletched regularly, the 3 fletchings on an arrow shaft. These, which I'm kind of excited about, these actually kind of wrap around the arrow, so you can make them do whatever. They're called, this kind is called spiral fletching, and this is just the traditional fletching. These are really hard to get perfect. As you can see, I butchered a lot of feathers. So, we will see. Alright, so I've got all my arrows in here, and fletching jig all in here somewhere. So, I wanted to show you the difference between a regular fletching and our flu-flu fletchings. Quite a bit smaller the regular fletching is than the flu-flu. This is for like regular hunting with a traditional bow. Plastic vanes don't really work that well with a traditional bow because they're very rigid and they throw the arrow off because you're just shooting straight off the shelf. You're not shooting through a rest, which all rests are set up to miss the fletching. So the traditional feathers lay down when they go across the bow. So it still deflects it a little bit, but not a ton. So anyway, that's the difference between the flu-flu and the regular fletching. Alright, so some of these arrows, well, all of these arrows I had previously fletched, and they came off because I was using I was using super glue gel. The gel just doesn't seem to work well. This liquid, the liquid works really, really well. What we're going to do is we're going to clean off this excess dirt and adhesive and get them prepped and ready for the new fletchings. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and cut these down a little. I've got my bow box set up so you can watch. We're going to leave this longer part and cut it down probably 3/4. So about right there. And we're going to make sure that all the other ones are the same length.
Daddy, do you need this?
Yes, I will need that. Thank you.
I'm going to be by the feathers.
So we're going to do 2. Wrong one. We're going to do 2 yellows and 1 orange. The off-colored fletching is called the cock feather, and that's the one that sticks out. That's your reference fletching. That one always sticks out. I'll show you when we get the arrows done. We're going to put an arrow in here. Then we're gonna add the cock feather to the fletching holder. Now this is gonna be harder because you got all that extra to fit in there. So actually it was not hard at all. Alright, so see how it's kind of sticking out a little bit? That's not really a big deal. You do want this, the end of this, to line up with the end of this. That way it sets it far back enough that you are able to do that. I'm going to flip this around where I can see it. We're going to fast forward. We'll be back. Alright, so we're back at it. Stop hogging the camera, it's my camera. Gosh. Alright, so this is what we have. Looks pretty good, I think. Definitely going to be a lot of drag. What we want to do to kind of secure them a little bit more is add a dab, just a tiny dab of super glue to the back and the front. You'll have to put a little bit more. It's probably better to seal that center of the feather because that is kind of porous and it might get water in it if you're shooting in like a rainy situation or something like that. I don't know if that will affect anything, but it's better safe than sorry. So fill those up. These two are done. I really like how they turned out. I'm gonna set this down here, Layla. Just leave it like that, okay? Or actually, you hold it. Thank you. Now we're gonna start with this one and the spiral fletch, just to see how that turns out. Again, I'm gonna cut this fluffy part off because, well, you know what? I won't. Let's see how that turns out. First thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna put a dot of super glue on the shaft, just to try and secure the end. That way we're not fighting too much. Okay, so it's looking like you want like a ½ inch gap in between the rows, or the spiral. We're gonna come to the end there, right before the fuzz. All right. I'm gonna try something. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. I'm gonna put a drop of super glue right there on that end and let it dry. And then I'll go back through and kind of tack the other. Because if they're secured, I mean, I don't see wasting all that glue. We're gonna try it and see if it works. This is what the arrows look like when they're finished. Didn't have time to show any shooting of the arrows, but you probably didn't want to see that anyway. We'd probably miss. So if you like this video, we would really appreciate it if you would hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell.